Hello everybody, it's me, Get Dave Dio, and it's channel update time. August 2018 edition, Guacamelee 2, Let's Play done. That's actually old news, although I think I had 3 double episode days or whatever, because I needed a 14 episode sequence to fit the gap before the Dragon Quest 11 release date, and I thought I could fit it in. Almost, but not quite. Anyway, we had some doubles, and Dragon Quest 11 is underway. I actually thought about recording this update a couple days early, like right before it came out, and now it's the 10th, the evening of the 10th I'm recording this, because basically I was like too tired to do it before then, and then once Dragon Quest 11 came out, I did not want to do anything else.
Oh yeah, baby. That's the stuff.
I also did a poll asking people what game they would like me to do, and they got to pick between Guacamelee 2 and Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey won the poll, so I ignored it because I think I've failed to follow every single poll result. Thank you for putting up with me. I'm definitely going to Let's Play it, but I didn't think I could fit it in the 14-ish episode slot that was available. And yeah, now we're doing Dragon Quest 11, which I believe I just mentioned, but I'm pretty excited. And even little tiny things like someone asked him the most late 2000s question ever of, is Dragon Quest 11 an open world game? And his response was this, and I thought, that's my boy. Sometimes people falsely believe that I like JRPGs, and the answer is no. I like Hironobu Sakaguchi and I like Yuji Horii. And between the two of them, they made a lot of great JRPGs, but not so much anymore. I mean, The Last Story, I think, was the last one for Sakaguchi, because his company is like mostly doing mobile games now. And hey, it was a bit of a break for Yuji Horii. So it's good to be back, and oh my goodness, I would say the game was pleasant for about 6 episodes or so, and then the return, I'll just call it that. The return is when it hits you in the mind and in the feels, and it's interesting and it's heart-wrenching, and oh my goodness, then it became a great game, and I'm excited. And no, it doesn't have an open world. It has an overworld. It doesn't need anything else. So I'm pumped about that. And in other news, I started a video game development studio called Reclamation Games. We're working on a project, and the big exciting thing from last month, there were a couple exciting things. I said I was going to start working on enemies, and I was aiming to have one completed. And so, depending on how you want to divvy up the definition of complete, I either succeeded or failed. I got the one enemy done. I haven't finished scripting their AI, but the way I'm doing it, I'm trying to script all of the AI, or a good multi-purpose general AI. So like each enemy will have a specific implementation of it, but they'll all be based on the same framework. And so that's a bit of a bigger story, but I was pretty satisfied. This is the sprint graph I'll show you. I just pasted it into Photoshop. But the red line, again, is the things remaining to go down. And you can see, like, we'll view it in Photoshop so I can give you zoom controls more easily. Right here, there was a nosedive. That's when the recording of the music happened. So they just hammered through a whole bunch. It looked like I was, like, falling behind, right? But recording went super well. There were 2 weekends with recording, and so Spike 1 is the first one, and Spike 2 is, Spike over here is the second one. Recording went really, really well. Despite actually, for everyone not being there, it was like a disaster. Even like, I was super sick, and just a whole bunch of things went wrong. But things only really needed to go right for recording for those 2 weekends, and it was a ridiculous success. And really positive experience for everyone too, and they finished like under budget and ahead of schedule. I've mentioned this before, I think in one of my InDAO episodes, but I took a long time realizing I could start working on a game on my own, because I kept thinking like, I need friends who can program, I need people who can do this. And the truth is, I already had a lot of the skills, they just needed to be adapted to game development. And I was kind of waiting for other people to fulfill my dream. I mean, sometimes it works out for you that way, but most of the time it won't. But what I did have was a whole bunch of really, really musically talented friends, and my goodness, they did a good job. Anyway, that was cool. Overall, yeah, I finished something like 220 story points. Oh, the recording accounts for a lot of that. So, and you can see like a brief spike up and then a brief spike down. That's where I changed what I was going to work on for the rest of the sprint, and didn't quite finish everything on the schedule, but I was still really happy with it. Again, I usually stretch myself further than I should, so that's why the red line rarely reaches the bottom. I really need to stop doing that. That said, this sprint I have something like 200 story points planned, because I'm doing a lot of work on the writing of the script this week or this month, and most of it's written, and I'm actually just like bringing it into the script writing software Trelby. So secretly I think like, oh, I can probably burn through all of these in half time, because, you know, secretly I've logged a whole bunch of time, or done a whole bunch of work that didn't get time logged, so they're all like half done. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I want to start recording Dragon Quest XI, so we're gonna make a hard pivot and wrap this up. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you are interested in supporting the creative projects on the channel, I mean, you can just watch the videos, do YouTube Red, or I don't know, the usual behavioral stuff too, just like commenting. I remember people in the comment section,
Good and bad.
yeah, I don't know, the company is appreciated. Or you can support on Patreon. Oh yeah, one last channel update thing. Patreon, I don't think you guys noticed anything, but there was like a hiccup for the relationship between PayPal and Patreon, so like the money didn't get transferred for a couple months. So like when it was time to pay the recording studio, let's just say it's a good thing I didn't have any less money saved up. Anyway, I don't think you guys would have noticed anything, but that came at a bad time. It's resolved now, at least. Anyway, one of the ways you can support is on Patreon. The money actually reaches me again. Yeah, the money just helps pay for the creative projects on the channel. Like, it helps pay for the recording studio, which I mean, I guess I could have like worked side jobs to save up the money, but it really, really helps with that, and helps pay for, you know, cover like some of the costs of Let's Playing, and I don't know, it's all very helpful. And so yeah, if you watch these my videos a lot and you think like, hey, wanna kick in, you can do that on Patreon. Thank you so much, everybody. Been really grateful for the folks on the channel, just because, like, particularly because we're doing Dragon Quest, and that's always such a positive experience, even when the games are sometimes full of really horrible and sad things. It's still kind of, I don't know, it's the Chrono Trigger optimism, and it brings it out in people too. And so I've had, I don't know, so many nice things we've been talking about for the last week and a half, and I really appreciate all of you, and thanks so much, and I'll see you all in the next episode. I'm gonna go record Dragon Quest XI now.